On a quiet summer evening in June 2014, the small town of Medford, Long Island, known for its peaceful neighborhoods and suburban calm, was shaken by a tragedy that would haunt its residents for years to come. Sarah Goode, a 21-year-old mother and beloved member of the community, disappeared without a trace after a night out with friends. What began as a missing persons case soon unraveled into a chilling story of betrayal, brutality, and heartbreak. One that revealed the darkness that can hide behind familiar faces. Sarah was young, bright, and full of life. A single mother to a 4-year-old daughter, she balanced work, motherhood, and friendships with quiet determination. Her friends described her as compassionate, someone who always smiled, even when life was difficult. She was the kind of person everyone loved to be around, funny, thoughtful, and deeply protective of her loved ones. On the night of June 6, 2014, Sarah attended a small gathering with friends, eager to unwind after a long week. It was supposed to be a night of laughter, music, and ordinary joy. Instead, it became the last night she was ever seen alive. When Sarah failed to return home the next morning and didn't answer calls or messages, her family knew something was wrong. She was devoted to her daughter and would never disappear without contact. Within hours, a missing persons report was filed, and the search for Sarah began. Volunteers, police officers, and neighbors combed the wooded areas and empty lots around Medford, hoping to find any trace of the young mother. Days passed with no results. The silence was suffocating. Then, on June 12th, nearly a week after she vanished, police made a devastating discovery. Sarah's car was found abandoned in a wooded area off Camden Court, just a few miles from her home. Inside were her personal belongings, her phone, wallet, and other items she would never have willingly left behind. The discovery deepened the dread that something terrible had happened. Hours later, in a secluded section of the woods nearby, search teams found what they had feared most: Sarah Goode's body, partially concealed beneath branches and leaves. The crime scene told a story of unimaginable violence. Sarah had been brutally beaten and sexually assaulted before being murdered. The community was shattered. Candlelight vigils were held across Long Island as family members begged for justice. The question was simple yet haunting. Who could do this to someone like Sarah? Detectives from the Suffolk County Police Department immediately launched a full-scale investigation. They began retracing Sarah's last movements, interviewing friends, and analyzing digital evidence from her phone and social media accounts. It didn't take long before a name surfaced repeatedly: Dante Taylor, a 19-year-old acquaintance who had been seen with Sarah the night she disappeared. Taylor was a Marine recruit who had recently returned to Long Island. To many, he appeared polite and disciplined, but police soon uncovered a darker side. He had a history of violent behavior and an obsession with control. When investigators brought him in for questioning, Taylor denied any involvement, claiming he barely knew Sarah, but inconsistencies in his story began to surface. Forensic teams examined Sarah's car and the area where her body was found. DNA evidence collected from the scene provided a breakthrough. It matched Dante Taylor. The match was indisputable. Investigators also found digital evidence linking Taylor to the crime. Texts and social media messages placed him in contact with Sarah shortly before her disappearance. Surveillance footage showed his car traveling toward the wooded area the night she went missing. When confronted with the evidence, Taylor's composure began to crack. But even in the face of overwhelming proof, he refused to take responsibility. He offered conflicting explanations, at times claiming consensual contact, other times insisting he had nothing to do with her death. The more he spoke, the clearer it became. He was lying. By mid-July 2014, Dante Taylor was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, rape, and sexual assault. The case drew national attention, not only for its brutality, but for the heartbreak of Sarah's story. She had been a young mother, trusting and kind, whose only mistake was extending friendship to the wrong person. During the trial, prosecutors painted a grim picture of the events leading up to her death. They described how Taylor had lured Sarah under the pretense of spending time together and then attacked her when she resisted his advances. The medical examiner's testimony revealed the extent of her suffering, evidence that the assault had been prolonged and vicious. It was a crime of rage and domination. Sarah's family sat through every day of the trial, holding photos of her and wearing shirts that said, "Justice for Sarah." Her mother, Sarah Goode, became the emotional center of the courtroom, her quiet strength a testament to a mother's love and resilience. Taylor D.'s defense team attempted to cast doubt on the prosecution's timeline and suggested that the DNA evidence could have been the result of consensual contact. But the jury wasn't convinced. The evidence was overwhelming, the brutality undeniable. After weeks of testimony, the verdict came. Guilty on all counts. In 2017, the court sentenced Dante Taylor to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For Sarah's family, the verdict brought a sense of relief, but not closure. "Nothing will bring Sarah back," her mother said outside the courthouse, "but at least he can't hurt anyone else." However, the story did not end there. Only a few months after being sentenced, Taylor was found dead in his prison cell, an apparent suicide. Some saw it as karma, others as an escape from true accountability. For Sarah's family, it was a complicated ending to an already unbearable tragedy. The murder of Sarah Goode left an indelible mark on the Long Island community. It sparked conversations about violence against women, the dangers of trust in the digital age, and the importance of vigilance even in safe neighborhoods. Her name became a symbol, a reminder of the innocent lives destroyed by those who hide evil behind charm and familiarity. Friends remember Sarah as someone who radiated warmth. She loved animals, music, and quiet nights with her daughter. Those who knew her say she had dreams of going back to school, building a better life, and creating a safe future for her little girl. In her memory, several community organizations began hosting annual awareness events about domestic violence and women's safety, ensuring that Sarah's story would not fade into silence. In the years since her death, her daughter has grown up surrounded by the love of extended family, who tell her stories about her mother's kindness and courage. "She'll always know how loved her mother was," Sarah Goode once said in an interview. "Sarah's light didn't go out, it just shines differently now." The tragedy of Sarah Goode's murder stands as both a warning and a memorial, a warning of the danger that can lurk behind friendly faces, and a memorial to a young woman who deserved more than what fate allowed. The case serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the monsters we fear are not strangers in the dark, but people we already know. As the years pass, the people of Medford still remember Sarah. On the anniversary of her death, candles line the sidewalks, and friends gather to release lanterns into the night sky. They float upward, glowing softly against the darkness, as if carrying her memory toward the stars. And somewhere between grief and justice, between sorrow and peace, the story of Sarah Goode continues to echo. A mother, a daughter, a friend taken too soon, but never forgotten.